Hello, everybody, and this is going to be a rather short episode. I wanted to do a music review for this particular mini episode, if you want us to call it that. For one, I listened to the last Foo Fighters album that I know of, and I gotta say, I'm glad they put out an album, but it wasn't what I expected, and it really didn't feel like the Foo Fighters. It wasn't something like I wanted to sing along to or wanted to headbang to or any of that kind of thing. As far as I can tell, there were two songs that were decent, but not up to par with my standard of what the Foo Fighters sounds like. And then there was Ruth B. She had an album released late last week, early this week, I believe. I listened to the entire album, and after waiting, 3 or so years for her to come out with a new album, she did, and it's Spaces in Between or something like that, I think the name of it is. I listened to the entire album, and literally only two songs. The title album song. Well, they both got the same name. That was a good song. That sounded like Ruth B. that introduced us to her career with Two Poor Kids and Lost Boys. Normally when an artist changes from one style to a more mature sound, you expect some sort of graduateness. You expect a gradient. And we didn't get that this time. We get to her how she is, I guess, when she recorded this, and one or two songs that sound like that made her famous, one or two songs featuring the sound that made her famous, and it's TV in the background. But honestly, I was really let down. I've been looking forward to this album release for a few years. Since I heard the first album, I was really intrigued. I bothered listening. And now I guess I gotta look up Lord's new album. It is rather wrenching, though, that we go from Ruth B. to whatever Ruth B. is now. If you're a burgeoning artist, like when I used to work at Home Depot, she had just hit the scene towards the end of my time there, and that's been a solid 2 years. So you take Ruth B. then, and then she waited almost 3 years to come out with a new album. And for a brand new artist who isn't really getting airtime, you can't wait 3 damn years. Nobody knew who she is. And I called up radio stations asking about Ruth B, and they had no idea who the hell she was. And I only heard about her through iHeartRadio and a podcast that I no longer listen to. I don't even remember the name of the podcast. It's been that long ago. But she was an up-and-coming artist, and she does one album, and then she goes on hiatus for 3 years. She comes out with a new album that it doesn't sound like her. There's no bridge. Yes, I realize she's grown a little older, but you don't come out with a debut album, not get known by anybody. Nobody knows who the hell you are. And then you come out 3 years later with another album and expect everybody to just love you. No. And yes, I did actually call up stations and ask who Ruth B was, and They didn't have a damn clue who the hell I was talking about. Well, they said she's blowing up iTunes and Apple Music and all these other iHeartRadio and all this other crap. Nobody had heard of her. So for me, it's like somebody telling me about an artist I've never heard of. Well, they're just the bomb. And I go and look up this person and they don't even exist. So for me, I think that Ruth B should have put a little more effort into putting another album out. I mean, honestly, I do. Putting out another album would have been, I think, putting out another album in rapid succession, considering her music didn't really sell all that well. I'd say that's indicative of what's going to happen in her career, because if she doesn't get anything, if she doesn't get a lift out of the second album, I see her career is done. Now, conversely, people could say the same thing about Home Free. Well, Home Free, I've actually been to their concerts in person, front row, center, and it wasn't what I've come to expect from them. But you know, we did pay money for the tickets, so we were expecting to be entertained. But I'm about ready to record my newest big podcast, so to speak. And it's going to be dealing with some very touchy-feely things. And I don't mean one or two. I'm talking highbrow, lowball stuff. So, yeah, we'll chat at you later. I would go out and at least buy the Foo Fighters album. If you like Ruth B, if you even know who that is, you can, but if you listen to the original Ruth B album and you're expecting to hear the same style of music, no. She was like Lord in having minimalist instrumentation and everything. Like for Lost Boys, I think it was her and a piano. I think. Her first album was very, very basic. And the second album is just, it's got a lot more to it. And in her case, I don't think it's better. In her case, I think it makes the album not nearly as good. She's not getting to showcase her talent. Being able to make a beat is something a lot of people can do. They can't do it well, but they can do it. And then you're matching up with what she's singing about and how she's singing. It doesn't make any sense to me. Call me a prude, call me what you will, but that's all, Looney Tunes. Peace.